I bought 4 Samsung Galaxy Book 2 laptops. Let me tell you why. You were looking at maybe a MacBook Air M1 or an M2, $999, $1199, or maybe you're looking at a Dell XPS 9315, which is their low-powered Ultrabook $9, $10, $1199 machine. Samsung came out with a Galaxy Book 2 regular and a Pro, and I think it's confusing, and I think the price differential doesn't really make a lot of sense. So Uncle Mikey went out and bought the cheap one because it was on sale, and I bought 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I bought the 8GB 256 and I bought the 16GB 512, and I've been playing with this. I've actually tried to make this my daily driver for a few days, and I got some thoughts. So let's talk about it. And first things first, Mr. Ryan Fluke. I hope I said that right. I don't want to say Fluke because you might have misunderstood me and we're not that kind of channel. But you've been thinking about this very comparison I noticed in the comments here. And so I'm here to help because that's just the kind of guy I am. I like to be helpful. If you are looking for a 13-inch machine that's ultra portable, very lightweight, and isn't going to break the bank when you buy it, there aren't a lot of choices. Surface Laptop 4, we're still waiting to get refreshed, and it's old tech, and it was semi-old tech when it came out last year, so that's really not where you want to spend your money. I've already dropped reviews on the Dell XPS regular 13 and the Plus, so you can go check those out over there. And I've also dropped reviews on the MacBook Air M2. I'll throw that card up for you as well, just to make life easy. But there's another potential king in the throne room. And I was surprised because this thing is light. It feels great in the hand, although it is also a fingerprint magnet. Samsung, I know that sometimes you like to copy what Apple does, but could you not copy the negative things? Okay, some of us don't like fingerprint magnets because they're not going to polish all the time because the OCD kicks in. And I just want it to look clean and sleek, and it doesn't when my fingerprints are all over it. But aside from that, this is a small, lightweight machine. Interestingly, it doesn't feel as small as the Dell XPS, which if you've watched that video, you know I personally find it a little too small. Not necessarily the screen because it's 13.4, this is 13.3, but the physical chassis, you need a little bit of girth around it. I want to feel like I'm holding something, I'm not going to drop it in my hands, and I've got enough depth so I can get a trackpad of a meaningful size. Somehow this feels a little bit better, and it comes with all the ports you would expect. Not only do I have a headphone jack, not only do I have USB-C Thunderbolt 4, not only do I have a USB-A, so I don't need a dongle, holy moly people, we've got an HDMI out on an Ultrabook. And if that's not enough, they gave us a micro SD card slot as well. So basically, all the ports you would need and want to have are here on this machine. Did I mention I paid $699 for it, for the 16GB with 512, $699, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, $500 less than a MacBook Air. Or to put it another way, the 8GB 256GB that I bought that was open box was $499. So I actually bought a 16GB and an 8GB and I had $1 left over versus a MacBook Air. You can't ignore the value for money here. I'm just saying, you really can't. The ports are awesome. The trackpad, I wish it was a little bit deeper. You know I like my trackpads big, just like, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna leave it alone. I just wish it was taller. The keyboard, full size, feels great. Great key action as you press down on the keys. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up here of me doing just that. So I got nothing but good things to say about the keyboard. I do like my keyboards a little softer on the press. This is more of a kind of press down and a hard stop. I've talked about this, but my finger gymnastics, you know, I don't want high impact on my fingers. I got to make them last for a few more years. So I'm just playing. It feels awesome. But let's get to the stuff that really matters. This is an OLED screen for sub $1,000. This is an OLED screen for sub $1,000. It looks glorious. I'm going to show you some footage here. I've got some wallpapers like we always like to show, 4kwallpapers.com if you want to go check them out there. And then as you're looking at these wallpapers, I also want to show you some great footage from our LG OLED YouTube favorites. So you can see these colors just dripping through the screen. The blacks are uber black. Yes, I know you're going to get pulse width modulation. You can comment by all means, but I do know it's there. You're probably going to see a little bit of the flickering on this footage that I'm showing you. Look, it's a byproduct of OLED. Okay, I don't know what you want Uncle Mikey to do. I can't fix everything. I'm trying, but I can only fix a little piece of the pie on any given day. So if you go OLED, just be mindful of that if you are susceptible to pulse width modulation, headaches, the flickering on the screen that your eyes can't see but your brain can. OLED might not be the way to go. That said, I love OLED. I mean, I love OLED screens. And I'm blown away at how good this thing looks at that price. But then here comes the negative, because it can't be all good news. I wish it was, but it just never is. Just like on the 15-inch that we reviewed a few months ago, this is also a 16:9 screen. And I think it's criminal to put out a 16:9 ratio screen in 2022. Most people need to do work on their devices, and all the research has proved 16:10 is a little bit taller, 3:2 is a little bit taller still. Those are the ratios that all the major manufacturers are going to. Heck, Apple never even left 16:10. They never even went to 16:9 because they knew it was a dumb ratio for a laptop screen. And if you disagree with me, look, throw me some comments below and I'm going to throw them right back at you. And I'm not even going to mention the guy who was talking about one of my previous videos, giving me his opinion and telling me why he was right and I was wrong. Look, the good thing about opinions is we both get to have one. So you can have yours and I can have mine and we can still be friends, okay? We don't need to fall out. But on this, I think my opinion is more right than yours if you are a 16:9 lover. Most people aren't buying laptops to consume content. That's what tablets seem to be doing. And so to get work done, the height, I think, is a misstep. I also wish, instead of this being 13.3, as I keep saying on all these 13-inch reviews, stretch the screens, people. 13.9, 13.8. My Samsung tablet is over 14 inches, Mr. Samsung, and I hold it in my hand and I goof off with it at night. Can you please make your smalls just a little bit bigger? Not too much, but just a little bit. I think we could cope with the extra size, the extra weight, and I think it would be more useful. And that's what it comes down to for a laptop, right? Because we pick these things up because we've got to get work done. If I'm goofing off, I have a phone or a tablet or whatever. You know, this is because I need to write documents and I need to handle emails and I need a keyboard, or I want to get into some video editing or photo editing because it's a high-spec machine. It is a U-series processor, but it's still 16 gig and 512. I didn't buy this to do an abacus on the screen. Like, I'm doing more than that, clearly. And so the screen real estate is super, super important. And I still think Microsoft have got this right. 3:2 is a glorious ratio. And I wish more manufacturers would make 3:2 screens. I think we're leaning that way. Let me know what you think, I guess, as long as you agree with me. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, just want to take a second, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're really enjoying it, hit that subscribe button as well so that you can follow the channel as we drop new videos. We're working hard to put out some awesome content that you're going to like. And it's about to get feisty. This is the hot part of the year, so you don't want to miss all the cool new tech. As it's coming out, I'm going to get my hands on it just as fast as I can. So let's talk battery life, because that's the other thing that I know everybody's interested in. Heat and battery, the two things Uncle Mikey hates. This has heat, and it sure has a battery life of some description, but it's not an Apple MacBook Air. No Windows machine is. The 12th generation chips did not do everything that we hoped they would do, and I've talked about this a few times in videos that we have talked and reviewed 12th gen processors. Are you going to get about 8-10 hours of battery life out of this? If you've got it on the most efficient setting, yes, I think you can get to about 8 hours, maybe 9. I don't think you're going to get to 10. I've worked on it. I've watched the battery tick down. On the mid setting, it's not much of a difference, but the one thing that does change is when I had it on the most efficient setting, I actually don't think I ever heard the fans come on other than when I was installing Adobe. On the mid setting, you will hear the fans kick in a little bit more. They start to gel up. And obviously on performance, you're definitely going to hear them. And when they come on, that heat does flow straight out the back. If you're using it on a desk, that's not going to be an issue for you. But if you're using it on your lap, you're going to have some toasty thighs. I mean, I can't tell you anything else. It's hot air and it blows pretty hard and it blows pretty hot. So just be mindful of it. I had to put a book underneath when I was working on it one day because it did kick out some heat and it was a little bit uncomfortable. So it is what it is. That's the world we live in if we want to use Windows versus Apple devices. Is it worth the trade-off for $500? 100 with a capital H. I mean, I think it could be. I could literally buy a tablet with that, or another computer, or like a 65-inch TV, or go to Vegas and have some fun, or, you know, take your pick. What would you do with $500 spare? Why don't you tell me and we'll see if we can figure it out together. You know what you could do with $500? Interestingly enough, look at the wall behind me in my new studio setup. We have some pretty pictures, and you can now buy said pretty pictures at Uncle Mikey's new store. Check it out. You can find a link in the description, and you can buy prints in a couple different sizes. And then we're actually going to do some real high-end, ultra-fine prints on some super expensive paper that's like $350 for a roll of the sucker. Museum grade, archival grade. I'm even going to sign them, and then we're going to send you the prints separately. So if you really want to drop down a few dollars, you can do that too. And then as we go through the seasons and we go through different devices, we're going to change these up so that you can get some awesome, cool shots of the gear we're reviewing. Because if you love tech and I love tech, I figured that you might enjoy it. So go check it out. Let me know what you think about that. But let's get back to the Samsung. There's really not a lot to hate here. It's a great device. It's Windows. And if that's what you need or that's what you want, you know what you're getting into. It's got all the ports. It's got a great keyboard. It's got a nice trackpad. I just wish it was taller, but it feels great and it works every time. I've not had any issues with squirrely mouse movements or clicking and it not clicking. Build quality. I've never bought a Samsung device in a laptop that has had an issue out of the box. And if you've seen my reviews on some of the Dell machines, you know that's not been the case. So I think Samsung's quality control is very, very good. Really, my only negative here is I wish the screen was taller, and I wish it didn't kick out quite so much heat, and I wish the battery lasted a little bit longer. Those are things that are going to mean more or less to you depending on what you do. If you regularly dock and work at a desk, none of those things are really going to matter anyway. I like to work on the move, and so they mean a little bit more to me, but am I going to be able to keep this as a daily driver? I don't know. I'm going to try because I'm so blown away with it, especially at the price point that I got it for. Is this a machine that you should be looking at if you're considering a MacBook Air M1 or M2 or a Dell XPS? Absolutely think you should be yes. I think they should be in the mix. I don't think you should overlook it. I think you should give it some serious consideration. But dollar for dollar, pound for pound, and value, I don't know anything that can beat this device for the deal that I got at $699. Ask me your questions below. Until next time, let's go out there and be amazing. Dude, my man Dante replied.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, Mike, wow, I'm beyond thrilled for the shout out. You really made my day, week, and year. I had no idea about this shout out. You are beyond awesome for doing this. You're my new best friend. Anything you ever need, please let me know. I'll always have you back. I wish you all the success and good fortune that will come in your direction. Godspeed. Literally like 1 hour ago. I haven't even seen that comment.
I haven't seen it either.
If you stayed this long, let's hang out and have a heart-to-heart. Listen, I really appreciate you watching the channel. Really appreciate the comments. Even when you don't agree with me, that's okay. Listen, go check out my new online store. Let me know what you think. We've got a ton of new products coming, and I think you're going to like some of them. Some awesome tech stuff dropping on the way, and that's all I got. So thanks for hanging. Let's chat soon.